It has arrived. The government shutdown. You're listening to the National Briefing. Good morning, this is Kelly Nash. I'm going to give you an elevated news talk listening experience. Within the next 10 minutes, you're going to know more about this issue than the idiots who voted to shut down the government last night. Yeah, you're going to know more than an elected Senate Democrat. And I'll also provide an answer that Chuck Schumer could have used that might have, probably not, but might have avoided the government shutdown and definitely would have made him look stronger than he currently looks right now to the Democrat base. Because the Democrat base is what this is all about. Chuck Schumer has seen the polling. 2/3 of likely Democrat voters say that the current leadership is weak. That's you, Chuck Schumer. That's you, Hakeem Jeffries. They don't like you because you're weak. They want somebody strong or somebody that we would consider insane. They would like somebody like Jasmine Crockett or Ilhan Omar to be a leader. Anyway, how did we get here? We're walking down that little path first. I think this lady makes a great point. Her name's Lulu Garcia Navarro. She's a CNN contributor, lifelong Democrat, and she's explaining how Chuck Schumer has gone from voting 13 times in a row for the continuing resolution, which is completely clean, meaning we're not adding or subtracting anything from the government spending. We're just going to keep it as is in through November. Why did he vote and tell everybody in the party, vote against it now? What say you, Lulu?
I think what happened in the last shutdown negotiation, I spoke to Chuck Schumer at the time, and he was wanting to be sort of the responsible party, right? The one that said, we are going to actually stand up here and do the thing that's politically painful to do the thing that they believe is morally correct, right? They want to protect federal workers. They want to make sure that people have the services that they need. Democrats don't care about that anymore. What I'm hearing from Democrats is, this isn't our problem. We want to protect health care for Americans. Now, what this administration does with the federal government is on this administration and not on us.
Interesting that she used the phrase morally correct. Politically difficult, but morally correct. That's what Chuck Schumer was standing on the last 13 times. We're going to do the politically difficult, morally correct thing. Well, if he's doing the opposite this time, then he's doing the morally incorrect, politically easy thing to do. Okay, now back to his comrade in arms, Hakeem Jeffries. Again, Hakeem seen the same polling. And Monday night, Donald Trump tweeted out an AI video that we can't play here because it's got curse words and music in it. But it is pretty funny. It's basically Chuck and Hakeem standing next to each other. Chuck is explaining why they want all this money for illegal health care. And he's actually giving you the truth and the AI version. And Hakeem Jeffries is standing there nodding, wearing a sombrero, basically encouraging illegals to come across the border. Now, Hakeem, you got to look tough. I have not edited out any of the pauses. Normally, I clean these types of audio clips up to try to get them to go a little quicker. I like the awkward pauses here because it's Hakeem trying to gird his loins because he knows that Donald Trump is about to hear what he's going to say.
Mr. President, the next time you have something to say about me, don't cop out through a racist and fake AI video. When I'm back in the Oval Office, say it to my face. Say it to my face.
He did kind of catch up there at the end. He did get a little bass in his voice. Say it to my face. Try to channel his inner Obama. We've often referred to Hakeem as the Tumu Obama, which is the discount Chinese website. But yeah, he starts off with the voice cracking and Mr. President, shivering in his loafers. Anyway, Hakeem just walked into a trap. Trump puts that tweet out. Now, that was like just over 24 hours away from the government shutdown. On the day of this is the big day. What is Hakeem doing? He's not talking about helping the government workers who he's supposed to love. He's talking about how he's been insulted by a tweet. That's not helping Hakeem. That you didn't help yourself at all with that yesterday, but maybe you felt more like a man at the end of it. You're going to pay for that, by the way, when you do get back into the Oval Office. You think Trump will go get a bullhorn and have somebody film it as he just screams it in your face? That's what he'll do. But either way, yesterday, as the government shutdown was looming, a girl who works for CBS was in the Oval Office, and she asked Trump this pointed question. Because remember, Trump has already promised, we're going to fire. This is unlike any other government shutdown. If these people are sent home, they are now able to be fired. We've never done this in the past, but we are able to lay off tens of thousands, possibly, of federal workers permanently. We're going to riff them. They call it a reduction in force. That's what they're looking at. She asks this question.
Mr. President, as we inch closer to a government shutdown this morning, you said you might do a lot of layoffs. If DOGE is already reducing the federal workforce, why is it necessary to link more federal jobs cut to a shutdown?
Well, the Democrats want to shut it down, so when you shut it down, you have to do layoffs. So we'd be laying off a lot of people that are going to be very affected, and the Democrats, they're going to be Democrats. As you know, this country, no country can afford to pay for illegal immigration, health care for everybody that comes into the country, and that's what they're insisting. And obviously, I have an obligation to not accept that. That would affect everybody. A lot of good can come down from shutdowns. We can get rid of a lot of things that we didn't want, and they'd be Democrat things, but they want open borders. They want men playing in women's sports. They want transgender for everybody. They never stop. They don't learn. We won an election in a landslide. They just don't learn.
Yeah, they don't learn. But Trump walked them into this. I mean, I think that's the brilliance of Donald Trump. Donald Trump wanted to reduce the federal workforce. And he said, I don't want to do that. But if you do this thing, then, I mean, that's going to be the end result. We're going to fire thousands of federal employees, but that's going to be on you, Chuck. Now, Chuck, it almost sounds like they got like a Happy Days laugh track going here. Chuck was on the floor yesterday, and he wants to tell you that the polls that the Siena and New York Times came out with, that those are wrong.
Now, I know the leader is going to show a poll that says that Democrats will be blamed for the shutdown. There are many more polls that show Republicans are blamed. The question in that poll is biased. It's in the New York Times, but it's biased. If you turn the That's true. I don't always believe the New York Times. You can be sure of that. Neither do you.
Poor Chuck. I mean, look, here's the end result. The Democrats, all but 3.5 Democrats voted with the Republicans yesterday. And by the 3.5, I mean, you got Senators Catherine Cortez Masto of Nevada, John Fetterman, you knew he was coming from Pennsylvania, and you had Senator Angus King of Maine. But you also got, as far as a half, Susan Collins. So, I mean, I know she's a Republican, allegedly, but she came along and voted. So you got 3.5 Democrats to join the Republicans, but that's still not enough because you needed like 8 of them. So the government is shut down. Donald Trump will start firing federal employees. The $1.5 trillion that they asked for illegal health, I'm not going to say health care, insurance premiums. Health care is what happens between you and your doctor and you and how you take care of your health. If you're going to a doctor, how you pay for it is often through your insurance. That's what they wanted, the $1.5 trillion. Because, and again, this was so ironic, the Trump big beautiful bill cut $1.1 trillion because they said we're going to kick out enough illegals that are currently getting the Affordable Care Act coverage, that will save the $1.1 trillion. They didn't even ask for the $1.1 trillion. They upped it. They wanted another $400 billion out of your taxpayers' dollars to go to cover more illegals. If Senator Chuck Schumer had really wanted to look tough, what he could have said, he could have countered when the Democrats came and said, we want $1.5 trillion. And then, of course, the Republicans said, we're not going to give you a nickel for that. He could have said, fine, I have an answer that costs nothing. The answer is what we really want We want all of the people here on student visas, work visas, all of those people to become legal voters. I don't think the Republicans would have gone for it, but you've at least then put yourself in a position to say, I had a solution that wouldn't have cost the Republican Party or the taxpayer a nickel, and it's just to represent the fine, hardworking people that are making America, as Donald Trump says, great again, and you won't even give them representation? That would have been a much stronger angle for Chuck Schumer to play, but he didn't play it. He played the sucker like he's been playing since Donald Trump got in there. And Trump, again, he wins big league.